So people, in this video we want to look at aconite poisoning. So as you can see here, this is the aconite root. Okay, so basically the whole plant is poisonous, but the root is actually more potent poison. This is actually found in Himalayas, the Himalayas, you know, right? So there this aconite plant is found. It is called as aconitum plant. Okay, so it is called as what? Aconitum plant. Okay, and it is found where? In Himalayas. And there are a lot of Indian varieties like Aconitum ferox, Aconitum nepilis, Aconitum chasmanthum, so many other, Balfour, Fori, etc. So the whole plant is actually toxic, but the root is most potent poison. The dry root is conical and tapering. Okay, so the dry root, they're talking about the dry root here. The dry root is conical and tapering, and it shows scars or bases of broken rootlets. It shows the scars or bases of broken rootlets and is arched or shriveled with longitudinal wrinkles. Arched or shriveled with longitudinal wrinkles. It is usually 5 to 10 centimeter long and 1 to 2 centimeter thick at upper end. The external color is dark brown. As you can see here, the external color is dark brown and internal color is white. That also you can see in this photo. When freshly cut, which will soon become pink on exposure to air. So basically, the cut is white if it is fresh. After exposure to air, they become little pink. The taste is actually bittersweet and it is odorless, and it gives strong offensive odor when soaked in oil. If it is soaked in oil, it will give a strong offensive odor, remember. Otherwise, if you taste it, it is bittersweet and it is odorless. Odorless means nothing bad smell, but the smell will be bad only if you soak it in oil, remember. Now let us move on to the it's a cardiac poison. Remember, cardiac poisons are poison plants that have action mainly on the heart, either directly or through the nerves. So basically it's a cardiac poison. What is a cardiac poison? Example, aconite. There are so many other things. Now aconite only we are reading about. The other cardiac poisons are actually cerebra, thievitia, nerium, digitalis, nicotina. All are cardiac poisons, but we are looking only at aconite in this case. Now look at the active principle of aconite. The active principle of aconite, it is aconitine. Okay, you can also say aconitine, pseudo aconitine. Okay, it's not difficult, right? So what are the active principles? Aconitine, and pseudo-aconitine. Right? Not difficult. The fatal dose. The fatal dose is 1 gram of root. If 1 gram of root is taken, it is fatal, or 2 to 5 milligram of aconitite. Wow. So we're looking at the fatal dose now. Here, fatal dose of what? We are looking at the fatal dose of aconite. This one, the fatal dose of aconite. So the aconite fatal dose is 2 to 5 milligram. Okay, that is 1 gram of root if you take, or 2 to 5 milligram. Just imagine 1 gram of that root you eat, it is fatal, and it will kill within 2 to 6 hours. Wow. So let us look at the clinical features now. Fatal dose and fatal period over, it will kill within hours. Clinical features are going to be something like burning sensation in the mouth to stomach. There'll be burning sensation. Take a deep breath, guys. I know we are looking at something exhaustively. Take a deep breath. And now give us a nice smile. Okay, give us a nice smile, because we know these videos are like very boring. So smile. Good. So the clinical features are basically burning sensation from the mouth to stomach, tingling, numbness in the mouth, tongue, pharynx, salivation, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, dry mouth. The patient suffers from thirst and is unable to swallow. Sounds like a rabies thing. He's unable to swallow. Tingling and numbness all over the body. Headache, giddiness, pallor, profuse sweating, subnormal temperature, weakening of limb, making the patient unable to walk or stand. There may be twitching of muscles with darting pain and cramps. Convulsions may occur. So initially there is hippus. Hippus means what? Hippus, we have already covered a video on hippus. Hippus basically means the alternating contraction and dilation of the pupil without external stimuli. Okay, so there is abnormal a spasmodic contraction of the pupils, that is hippus. So basically alternating contraction dilation of the pupil, but later the pupil actually becomes dilated only. Later it becomes dilated only. Okay. So there will be dimness of vision and diplopia. So this is hippus. Hippus is seen in what? Aconite poisoning. Aconite poisoning. Now let's move on to the other clinical features. So we're moving on to the other clinical features, guys. We're looking at the clinical features of aconite poisoning. We're looking at the other features now. So we finished so many things. Cardiac effects manifest what and all? Tachycardia, then bradycardia due to AV block and hypotension. So guys, what are we looking at? Cardiac effects. So tachycardia, then bradycardia, hypotension will happen. Marked general weakness, oppression in the chest. So chest oppression. Mind, what happens to the mind here? They are not telling mind anything will happen, right? Hallucinations may occur, they are saying. Although hallucinations may occur, that means everything will occur only you can write an exam. General weakness, oppression of chest. Death occurs due to paralysis of heart, respiratory centers or both. So basically now finally after this clinical features we are writing what? Death. Death can occur because of heart failure, paralysis of heart, respiratory centers. Okay. So or both can happen. Direct contact with leaves or root produces tingling and numbness. So just touching these leaves and root produces tingling and numbness. My God. Pollen of this aconite plant causes pain and swelling in the eyes. So all the best if you're planning to go to Himalayas. Direct contact with leaves and roots produce tingling, numbness. Pollen grain causes the pain and swelling in the eyes. Okay, now coming to doctor's work, let's move on to the treatment. So look at the treatment for aconite poisoning, guys. We're looking at the treatment of aconite poisoning. Gastric lavage, warm water, then weak solution of potassium permanganate you can give. You can mix with iodine and potassium iodine. You can give milk or activated charcoal, that is standard, right? Universal antidotes. Then emesis, you will make sure that the guy vomits, or gastric lavage obviously. Artificial respiration and oxygen inhalation. So you will give oxygen inhalation, artificial respiration to aid respiratory efforts. Atropine is given, guys. Atropine, anticholinergic. So to stop the inhibition of heart, right? To avoid the vagal inhibition of heart. Then digitalis you can give to counter the depressive action of heart. So you can give digitalis to counter the depressive action of heart. Lidocaine, procainamide and phenytoin to counteract cardiac arrhythmias. So what and all are the treatment? Let's read again. So treatment, they are giving so many. Treatment. So look at the treatment for aconite root poisoning, guys. So many treatments they have mentioned here. Atropine, digitalis, lidocaine, procainamide, phenytoin to counter cardiac arrhythmias. Digoxin to counter the depressive action on heart. Atropine to avoid the vagal inhibition of heart. Apart from that, you are giving oxygen inhalation, right? That's all. Then coming to the last part here, post-mortem finding. Now what will you find in post-mortem finding in aconite poisoning? Basically in aconite poisoning in post-mortem finding, nothing specific you can find. Okay, there will be asphyxia, pallor or mucosa of the mouth, congestion of stomach will be there. Duodenal mucosa with ecchymosis, remains of root may be present in the stomach, so you may find the remains of root. Okay, so then you can see that there is congestion of stomach, duodenal mucosa with ecchymosis. The roots remains may be present in the stomach. The brain, lungs, liver, kidneys are congested. Write the standard for everything. Brain, lungs, liver, kidney, everything is congested. Okay. Then coming to medico-legal importance, which they have not written here, you have to write that medico-legal importance. So medico-legal importance, there will be accidental poisoning, homicidal poisoning, suicidal poisoning. So accidental poisoning, mistaken if get for radish root, then they can use it, okay, in Ayurvedic preparations, and there can be poison by mistaking it for some other root. Homicidal also it is possible. Suicidal in occasion, but it is a painful death. Okay, so people don't prefer this aconite poisoning. Then it is used as arrow poison and cattle poison. So it is used as arrow poison. Okay, arrow poison and cattle poison. So this is about aconite poisoning. Can you summarize? Can you say aconite? Say aconite.
Aconite.
Aconite. Okay. So basically, aconite is a cardiac poison. Active principles are aconitine, and pseudo aconitine. Fatal dose is 2 to 5 milligram of aconitine or 1 gram of root. Fatal period is 2 to 6 hours. Clinical features, same thing you write off for everything. Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, burning sensation, headache, giddiness, convulsions. Then cardiac effects you should write. Basically tachycardia followed by bradycardia and hypotension. Then general weakness, paralysis of heart. Okay, even direct contact with these roots and leaves produces tingling, numbness. Pollen grain causes pain and swelling in eyes. Main clinical feature is hippus. Don't forget hippus. Hippus is alternate contraction dilation of the pupil, which is abnormal, which is not controlled by external stimuli. So it is basically spasmodic contraction, and later the pupils will become dilated. There will be dimness of vision, etc. Then there can be death, right? Respiratory centers can be paralyzed, heart can be paralyzed, and there will be death. DEATH. Death is caused by aconite root. Okay, how will you treat this person? Treatment, come here, say the treatment. So the treatment will be, say oxygen, atropine, digitalis, lidocaine, procainamide, phenytoin. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Then moving on to the post-mortem finding. Post-mortem finding, nothing specific. Pallor of mucosa, mouth, congestion of all these stomach, brain, lung, liver, kidney. Remains of root may be found in the stomach. Circumstances, then medical legal importance of aconite root. You will say that it is accidental, suicidal, homicidal, etc. Okay. Then arrow poison, cattle poison. Okay. That's all. That completes aconite root. So now we are done with aconite root. We'll meet in the next video. Okay. That's all for now. Say bye bye.